Maines. Yes. Journey Maines. Koger to the corner to Baker on the way from downtown. There's Baker right there with the rainmaker. To the corner, Carter Bell. Pulling the trigger and making a big time splash right there. Carter Bell. And that's going to be a deep fly ball left center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Lovegrove makes that turn. She'll head into second base. Again, hanging the signs behind the plate, Ryder Gibson. And that's going to be rifled right out there to center field. Nice piece of hitting right there by Hayden James. And that Good evening, volleyball fans, and welcome live here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network, here on YouTube.com, as well as the IHSAA Champions Network, here from Delta High School here in Muncie, Indiana. Again, I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Back for our 16th season of calling Raider Sports live here on the WHS Network, and we're going to get this thing started here tonight with our Raiders Live pregame show presented by Alfred Rods and Customs, a proud sponsor and supporter here of the WHS Network. Again, Alfred Rods and Customs, again here, one of our sponsors now that we've had, the last 2 or 3 years, again, with over 30 years of experience. They sell the baddest hot rods, street rods, muscle cars, and customs in the land. Alfred Rods and Customs buys, sells, and trades cars all over the country. For more information, give them a call at 765-717-3625 and look them up on Facebook at Alfred Rods and Customs. Also, come check out their showroom at 613 East Weiser Street in downtown Muncie, Indiana, and let them make your dream a reality. So, the table is set here for this start of 2026-2027 athletic year, and we're going to get this season underway here tonight with Lady Raider Volleyball right here from Delta High School, in which, when you look at the makeup of this Wapahani Lady Raider Volleyball program, no doubt, when you look at this team, it's very, very youthful. When you look at, specifically the JV here tonight, we have 1 sophomore, and then we have 6 freshmen that are on the JV. That's on the JV team. Varsity team, you've got 3 seniors, 1 junior, and 2 sophomores, and I believe 7 freshmen. That's like I said, that's a very youthful group. And coming into the season, we expected that. You look at last year's team. I think we had roughly, it was 6 or 7, maybe 8 seniors last year. You're replenishing darn near your whole entire team. There was only a couple girls, 3 or 4 girls that really got any kind of playing time at the varsity level last year, and that was Journey Maines, Addie Barnes, Kaylee Clements there as well. I'm sure it's probably going to be, like I said, a year where, on paper, is this going to be the dynamic team that we've always had? I don't know, at least maybe not to start. I think that, these girls are, they've only been in gym now for probably 3 weeks or so, 2.5 or 3 weeks as far as first official practice. So this isn't going to be a finished product right from the very beginning. So it's not, I don't expect them to go out and, come out here tonight and dominate Delta in 3 sets and only allowing 6 points or something like that from Delta. This is going to be, it's going to be, I'm sure, a work in progress as the season goes along. But I think that these girls have to trust the process, and I think for all of us that watch and that are a fan of not only Raider volleyball but Raider sports in general, you have to be able to trust that process as well, and give these girls as much support as possible, because again, you're putting a whole entire team out there essentially with very little to none experience, not only at the JV level but at the varsity level as well. And so I think that a lot of people, you've really got to consider that here, not only tonight but throughout the season. Now, I'm not necessarily saying, hey, we're going to lose every ball game. I'm not saying we're going to win every ball game, but I think that we're going to be competitive. I think that these girls, they're going to be held accountable to where they're expected to achieve greatness, and to work hard every single day, and they will get there. It might take some time, but I really believe that they will get there. Now we're under a new head coaching staff as well, all across the board, from varsity assistant, JV, and some very familiar names at the helm this season. One of those is obviously head coach at the varsity level, and that's former Raider player Haven Gates, in which she had an outstanding volleyball career. Obviously, state champion, once or twice at least. I'm trying to remember when she graduated. That's how old I am now. It seems like we broadcasted her games back then, but ended up going on playing collegiately. Had a lot of success at Ball State as well, and I think that her knowledge of the game and what she brings to the table is going to be very, very valuable, not only to this team this year, but the whole entire program from here all the way down through middle school level, to build this team and to build the program back to the force that it really truly is, honestly. But then we have Anthony Franklin. He's going to be our JV coach this year. Another very, very knowledgeable guy. Knows the game like the back of his hand. Been around it a long time. Played it. It's going to be hard pressed to find a better JV coach, especially in this area, than Anthony Franklin. So top tier guy, top tier coach. Really looking forward to seeing what he does. And then you have our varsity assistant, Estella Davis, another former Raider player that had a lot of success out here as well. Part of state championship teams. So the resume is there. They know what it takes to be successful. They know the work that you have to put in to be successful. And, they're going to teach that to these players. And they're going to get them into the mindset and to the, body of work right here to reap the benefits of going out here, playing the game the right way, playing hard, practicing hard, playing the game the right way as a collective unit, not only individually but as a team right here is so important, and to have the right attitude. So, again, just really looking forward to this. It's been a long time coming. As far as with us, it's been 2.5 months since we last broadcast a game, and it sure is great to be back. I'll tell you that much. And we're excited to get this season underway here tonight from Delta High School here in Muncie, Indiana. Wapahani and Delta set to go toe-to-toe here in tonight's junior varsity volleyball game. Again, this has been a Raiders Live pregame show presented by Alfred Rods and Customs. We'll be back here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, welcome back. Right here's we'll take a look here at tonight's teams. First, if you're visiting Wapahani Lady Raiders here tonight, number 2, Maya Mitchell. Number 3, Shaylee Dargo. Number 8, Lila Parker. Number 10, Kinsey Reed. Number 13, Sydney Van Dievender. Number 15, Sophia Lash. And number 16, Maddie Duncan. Again, your Raiders are coached by Mr. Anthony Franklin. And now we'll slide over here to the home side of the court here for the Delta Eagles. Again, number 1, Maya Elliott. Number 2, Junie Kennedy. Number 3, Tatum Swain. Number 4, Julia Hendershot. Number 5, Zaylen Brinkley. Number 6, Chloe Miskidis. Number 7, Rihanna Jester. Number 8, Kaylin Lightfoot. Number 9, Harper Lee. Number 10, Addie Carter. Number 11, Cameron Berry. Number 12, Paige Brooks. Number 14, Brindley Brooks. Number 15, Jaylee Pointer. Number 18, Hadley Spencer. Again, the Delta Eagles are coached here by Allison Ruddick. So again, that is tonight's rosters. Once again, we'll step aside here for a quick message from Lipscomb Embroidery here on the WHS Network. All right, folks, welcome back here from, again, Delta High School here in Muncie, Indiana. Again, I'm play-by-play broadcaster Brandon Morvillius, alongside here with me, cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Again, tonight's game sponsored here by Puerto Vallarta on Broadway. Again, one of our newest sponsors, Puerto Vallarta Mexican Restaurant. Appreciate them for their sponsorship as we get this 2026 season officially underway here at 5:58 p.m. here on this Tuesday, August the 18th. 2026. Again, as I mentioned, I'm play-by-play broadcaster Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me, cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy, and the Raiders will draw first blood here tonight and get on the board here with a 1-0 lead. Again, if you all can't tell, I will just go ahead and get this out of the way early. I am battling a cold, so hopefully I'm going to try to turn the mic off whenever I start coughing too much, but just wanted to make all of you aware out there here tonight. If there's some brief pauses in the volume, that's because I didn't want you all to hear why I have a cold. So nonetheless, even now at 1, we'll have number 11. That is Cameron Berry back to serve here for the Eagles. That was received there by Van Dievender. Parker there with a setup and unable to get that one across right there. Sophia Lash gave it her best shot. Unfortunately, couldn't sneak that one across. So 2-1 Delta. Serve there from Berry. Sends it deep there into the back row. Mishandled there by Mitchell. And that will be an ace here for one Cameron Berry. So a 3-1 start here for the Eagles. 3 consecutive put on the board. Again, the Eagles, varsity level, is now under the tutelage of Brooklyn Goodsell. And they have pretty much a whole entire new makeup of their coaching staff as well over here for the Eagles. So Brinkley now into the ball game for the Eagles. Back there to serve just a moment ago, that was Sophia Lash. Nice up right there. Parker on there to number 3, Dargo. Gets that one up in the air. A couple of nice passes. Nice setup there to Kinsey Reed. Gets that one across. A little free ball action. There's Mitchell. Parker with a setup. Van Dievender, they say, does not get that one over the net, and it ends up being 4 hits. So a 4-2 lead now for Delta. Number 1, Mia Elliott, will now reacclimate herself into the Eagles rotation. That was number 10, Addie Carter, to serve just a moment ago, as the Raiders unable to get that one across. Again, just some little miscues early here from a ball handling standpoint. The passing, not crisp yet. And now we'll have a rotation violation that will also cost us a point. Again, our officials here this evening, two of the very best. Our up referee here during tonight's junior varsity game, that's Mr. Bobby Bohr. And Sean Sherfy, our down referee, again, known those guys a long, long time. And two of the very, very best officials you can ever find here in the state of Indiana. So appreciate them for being here tonight as well. So I'll have number 3, Shaylee Dargo, back to serve for your Wapahani Lady Raiders. Looking to put some things together right here and at least even it up here early. And that will be a kill for number 15, Jaylee Pointer, to put the Eagles back on top here by 4. We will have a substitution. Number 4, Julia Hendershot, will check back in, or will actually check in for the first time, excuse me. So Pointer back to serve. And that will be in front of number 16, Maddie Duncan. Tried to track it down, just landed right in front of her. So that will be an ace for Pointer. Right back to her. Parker there to receive the serve. Set to the left side. Mitchell on the attack. And that one lands into the net. Another point goes in favor here of Delta Eagles. So 9-3 start. Again, Delta said, they've always had a good program. Wapahani, obviously the same thing. You can really say that a lot about majority, if not all of the teams here throughout Delaware County. You know, numerous or a wide range of years where there's been a lot of success. You know, again, Wapahani's been very well known for their volleyball program, and looking to get back to, where we always have been, for the last, if you dated all the way back to, 2002 when we won our first state championship, we had some good years between there and in 2011 when we started winning state championships again. We still had some pretty good teams, but really these last, in all honesty, and it's just by pure coincidence, I think, at least on our part, now, with the level of talent, it was no surprise, but, really ever since we started broadcasting, all we've seen is success from our volleyball program. And so we're going to get back there again. I can guarantee you that. Again, it might take a little bit of time, but these girls are, they're really going to work hard, get after it, and we're going to be a well-oiled machine again. So number 10, Kenzie Reed, back to serve here for Wapahani. Receiving that was number 17. And mishandled, that was number 4, Julia Hendershot on the attack there from the left side. Again, mishandled. And the point there for Wapahani gets them now within 7. Again, obviously some work to do right here, but you got to take it 1 point at a time, as cliche as that is. Right side attack right here, soft touch by number 13, which is actually not on their own roster sheet. So I'm not quite sure who that young lady is. So 13-5, make it 13-6. Again, we was trying to come up with a name there for the young lady, and we still could not. So nonetheless, we'll have we will not have a substitution. Instead, we will have number 13, Sydney Van Devender, back to serve here for Wapahani. Tipped across right there, but was met at the net by Mitchell. And that will fall out of bounds. Another point there for the Raiders. Now within 6. Again, for obvious reasons, you can't get them all back all at once. But if you start building, a string of points together, gathering some momentum, and start building more and more confidence here as the set and game goes along, then anything's possible. You're never going to find out though if you don't start playing up to your potential right here and really starting to build a head of steam here. Obviously, along with that comes the confidence, and that will be a net violation, or rather 4 hits. But again, a good amount right there. 2 or 3, 4 points in a row, or at least within the last handful of points. We've been able to get about 3 or 4 points. So it's nice to see. Again, when you start to falter a little bit, we've still kind of found our way, back a little bit. But now, one thing you can't have is, if you get back within 4 or 5 points, then you have another letdown. Then you find yourself down by 8 or 9 again. That's what you have to avoid. As we'll have a timeout taken here by Wapahani. And while we have a moment, we would like to thank some of our sponsors here this evening. A big thanks here to Sam Pierce Chevrolet, located at 12401 West County Road, 550 South in Daleville, Indiana. Sam Pierce is your trusted Chevrolet dealership and the reason why loyal customers keep coming back. For more information, give them a call at 765-387-4287 and go to sampierchevy.com to find your next vehicle. Again, that is Sam Pierce Chevrolet. The best deals are in the country. Again, also a big thanks here to East Jackson Auto Sales. East Jackson Auto Sales, owned by Alan and Todd Clark. This family-ran dealership has been going strong since 1977. Give them a call at 765-356-1340. Again, they're located at 3100 East Jackson Street in Muncie, Indiana. So again, following the timeout, again, the Raiders down by 7. Make that down by 6 after the miscue there from the Eagles. So we'll have Maya Mitchell back to serve for Wapahani. And that one's going to land in the net. Service there for Wapahani, as we'll have number 3, Tatum Swain. Nicely done right there. Nice serve reception right there from Van Dievener. Give him a good ball to work with. There's Mitchell. Nicely done. Parker set on there to lash, but was blocked. So another point there for the Eagles. And had that quick set there from Parker to lash. Received there by Reed. Nice up. Parker darn near dropped that one in there. Van Dievender's there. Parker set on there to lash. And Pointer gets over there in time near the bench area. But the kill for the Eagles will now reach the largest point total lead of the night of 9. Parker back to Lashley on the right side. That was near a 2-hit there on the Eagles. And instead, that ball will end up landing out of bounds nonetheless. A little too strong there on the hit. Couldn't keep that one keep the ball in play. So 18-10 now. You have Lila Parker back to serve. That was a beauty right there from Lila. Beautiful. Short serve. Right there. Just plops that one right down in the front row. Job well done. Darn near did that one again. Lash nearly made him pay. And there's Reed. Great job of keeping that one alive there again by Kinsey Reed. Now set up to the middle and then blocked by Sophia Lash. Yes. And here's your first, oh heck yes, of the season. That was beautiful. Didn't give up on the play. Again, Reed there had a nice defensive pass right there. And then you had Sophia Lash providing some stuffing. Smack dab in the middle. Beautiful. Set to the left side. And we'll have a net violation on Wapahani. So back behind the serving line, number 11, Cameron Berry. And that will be served out of bounds. So again, the Raiders still here in striking distance. They're not out of it by any means. But again, we're going to have to start stringing some points together here. Rattling off, 4 or 5 of them right here. That was a good serve there from Sophia. And they will get that one over. There's Lash. Parker sets it up to Van Devender, trying to find that back right corner. Now set up to number 13, and another net violation here on Wapahani. That's a killer for some momentum. That's now the second net violation. The last, I think, 3 or 4 points scored. So Elliott back in. We'll have number 10, Addie Carter, back to serve. And mishandled there. That's going to land out of bounds. So the Raiders have really now put themselves at a, unfortunately, big disadvantage. But then the Eagles will bail them out there with another serving error. So number 3, Shaylee Dargo, back behind the service line. That's received there by Carter. That was actually by number 13, which is the young lady that we do not have a name for. Pointer now from the right side. Parker digs it out. Nicely done. And Mitchell unable to get that one back across. Some good action here on behalf of, on this side of the floor here for Wapahani. A couple of really good passes. Parker did an excellent job right there on that pass to give the Raiders an opportunity. Good up right there. Reed with a set up there to Mitchell. Nice hit. Again, little things make a big difference. Back at it again. Nice dig, Mitchell. Oh, it was close to the net. And backpedaling right there. Mitchell will get that back over again, as that one was dug out by Brinkley. And out of bounds. They're on the left side attack there by the Eagles. And so, again, the Raiders hanging in there. Again, still not out of it, but, and, the score kind of speaks for itself. Still with some work to do, and not a lot of time to do that work in. Considering we only have a little bit of cushion right here, with only, with Dunn only being now 2 points away, it's gonna be tough to come back in this set at least. Still very possible, but again, as far as if you play the odds, unfortunately the odds are not in our favor at this moment in time. And mishandled, that will be an ace. So set point has now arrived. 24-15 Delta here in set number 1. Parker there with a setup to Van Devender. And they will somehow get it back over. The Raiders unfortunately, we're not expecting that one. And the Eagles will take set number 1, 25-15. So a 1-0 lead here for the Eagles. We'll step aside. And on the other side of the break, we'll be back here with set number 2 live here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network. All right, folks, welcome back here on the WHS Network. They got the second set started about 4 seconds early. But nonetheless, here a 1-0 start here for Delta. Again, the Eagles with a 1-0 lead. Took the first set 25-15. There, as you see on your screen, as that will fall in front of the outstretched hands and arms there of Sydney Van Devender. Again, tonight's game brought to you by Puerto Vallarta Muncie. They're on Broadway Avenue. Appreciate Puerto Vallarta Mexican Restaurant again here in Muncie. They're on Broadway Avenue, a proud sponsor of us here on the WHS Network. 3-0 start to begin set number 2 here for Delta. Not quite what you're wanting to see here from Wapahani. And nice job right there. Cat-like reflexes there from Van Devender to get that ball back over. And mishandled there by Mitchell. So 4-0 Eagles. Received there by Reed, shanked off there to the right side. Nice hustle there from Parker and Mitchell. Unfortunately, nothing good will come of it this time around. Still great hustle by all. Again, still Tatum Swain back to serve here for Delta. And that one served out of bounds. So a much-needed point here for Wapahani to hopefully get things going here for set number 2. We'll have Lila Parker back to serve here for the Raiders. And short serve right there. Unfortunately, will land in there as a serving error. So 6-1 now as number 4, Julia Hendershot, will now be back to serve. And that one will also be a serving error. So that's now back-to-back serving errors there for Delta. And obviously the Raiders with one as well. Put them all together, that's 3 in a row. The Raiders with some work to do right here. Nice job there by Sophia Lash. But across there, Jester there from the left side attack. There's Parker hustling to get that ball over to Reed, and that one will be sent out of bounds. A little too long on that play. 7-2 as the Eagles will send number 1, Mia Elliott, back to serve. Also in the ball game here for the Eagles, number 8, Kaylin Lightfoot. And another serving error for Delta. So really talk about shooting yourself in the foot. All 3 points Wapahani has scored here in this second set have been on serving errors from Delta. Let's see if Wapahani can make them pay for it right here. Unfortunately, that won't come to fruition this time around. And so everyone's standing around, but the volleyball just sits over there on the court. So now finally someone goes and gets it. And it will be number 2, Junie Kennedy, back to serve. Received by Van Devender. Parker sets it on to Mitchell there on the left side. There's a real strong hit there from Maya. And a net violation on the Raiders. Puts them in a 6-point hole. And that will be another ace. And so we'll see. I was thinking originally that we was going to end up seeing Maddie Duncan. But that was not the case. Dargo off there to the right. And that will be back-to-back aces here for Delta, and we will have a timeout here from Wapahani. Again, obviously in a little bit of a sticky situation right here where they're just having a rough time getting the ball over the net. So while we have an opportunity, let's thank some of more of our sponsors here this evening. Big thanks here to Next Home Elite Real Estate Hometown Realtor Courtney Felton. Courtney Felton, your hometown realtor with Next Home Elite Real Estate, proudly supports Wapahani High School athletes and the WHS network. Whether you're buying your first home, selling your current home, or simply have questions about the local real estate market, Courtney is here to help. Give Courtney a call today at 765-748-6334 and let her make your next move your best move. Courtney wishes all the student athletes, their families, a wonderful, successful, and memorable season, and go Raiders. So big thank you again there to Next Home Elite Real Estate Hometown Realtor Courtney Felton for her sponsorship of us here on the WHS network. So 11-3 out of the timeout. Again, another ace here for Eagles number 2, Junie Kennedy. Van Devender, Parker on the Mitchell. The Raiders will not get it over. It was close, but no cigar this time around. And another one will fall in there. And I'm sure head coach Anthony Franklin is a little beside himself right now, trying to figure things out to get his team going in the right direction. And nice job right there. Got to give credit there. Hendershot is able to get that one back over. Great concentration and hustle to get to that one. Parker digs it. Mitchell now on the read. That was a nice job there by Kinsey. And unfortunately, Delta will be bailed out after the Raiders are going to be called with another net violation. So the woes continue here for Wapahani. I believe that is, 8 unanswered now. I believe it was 7-3. So the point there for Wapahani. That was killed there by Kinsey Reed. So now she'll be back to serve. Long way to go to catch up, but you got to start somewhere. And right there was a thing of beauty right there, as we'll have Kinsey Reed recording the ace here for the Raiders to now make this a 10-point advantage here for Delta. And much like I mentioned earlier, can't get them all back at once. You got to take your first step in the right direction, and we just seen that the last couple times around. Mitchell on the attack there from the left side, and they will get it over. There's Hendershot again. Left side back to Mitchell. Dug out. Set up to the middle. That's Lightfoot on the attack. Dug by Lash. Nice setup by Parker to track that one down. Mitchell. Parker right back to her again. And, tried to ride the line, but unfortunately snuck out of bounds. And that will be a point there for Delta. But nice job there by both sides, especially from Wapahani's standpoint. Staying right there together, making good passes, making smart decisions. And Mitchell darn near snuck that one inside the sideline. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out that time. But pretty good showing on both sides. So the service error will cost the Eagles another point. That is now their fourth service error of this second set. And again, if you look at the scoreboard, the Raiders have only scored 6. So drop right in there by number 3, Tatum Swain. So Elliott back in the game for Delta. It'll be number 12. There's Paige Brooks back to serve just a moment ago. And that will be served out of bounds. So another serving error. As Wapahani will send Maya Mitchell back behind the serving line to get this now to the single-digit lead. And unfortunately, that didn't work out. So 18-7. And I think there might be a little confusion on behalf of the Eagles as far as who is supposed to be serving. Okay, so it's supposed to be, I guess, Tatum Swain back to serve. And that'll be shanked backwards and out of play. So the ace for Tatum Swain. As now the Eagles for sure are scoreboard watching now, only 6 points away from a sweep here on opening night of this 2026 Indiana High School volleyball season. I will say again, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I say this, but, as well as I think, Delta's played right here, the serving, definitely, especially here in the second set, has been definitely an issue. And they know that, I'm not saying anything that's not factual. But out of the 8 points, again, that Wapahani scored, 6 have come off of Delta's serving errors. So it's something I'm sure that they will definitely want to clean up before their next game. But then they've also had their fair share of aces as well. So it's kind of, in some ways, went hand in hand. You know, they've had their fair share of aces, also their fair share of serving errors. So 21-8, again, the timeout right here from Wapahani. And once again, we will stay right here with you to once again thank some more of our sponsors here this evening. Again, we are unable to do what we do without our sponsors, so big thanks here to one of our also newest sponsors here this evening, Statham Exteriors. For all of your roofing, siding, window, and gutter needs, contact Statham Exteriors at 765-449-2881, or you can call them at 765-702-8329. They are known for their quality workmanship for affordable prices. Statham Exteriors are a proud supporter of Wapahani High School student athletes and the WHS Network. Handled there by Van Devender. Mitchell, good up right there. Flash unable to get it over. I think there was some miscommunication on behalf there of Wapahani. So match point has arrived, 24-8. Where I get that varsity game started really early tonight. Parker on to Reed. Dug out there by Brooks. Set there to hinder shot. That's out of bounds. Point Wapahani. So the Raiders will send at number 15, Sophia Lash, back to serve. Set on there to Elliott. Parker there with a dig. Mitchell plays it off the carom on the backboard. Van Devender, just a little bit of a mistimed jump. And that will do it here for tonight's junior varsity girls volleyball game. Again, Delta will take this one in straight sets. 25-15, 25-9. So again, the Lady Raider junior varsity team back at it on Thursday night, so a couple nights from now, as they travel over to LaPel to take on the Bulldogs at 6 p.m. Again, we want to thank you all for tuning in here for tonight's JV game. Again, we'll have the varsity action coming up here in just a little while, so we hope you all tune in there for that. Until then, I'm Brandon Morvillius, alongside cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Great to be back, y'all. We'll be back here with tonight's varsity